In this podcast episode, former CIA officer Mike Baker shares his insights on the geopolitical landscape, particularly focusing on the rising tensions between China and the West. He discusses various topics, including the implications of China's ambitions, the ongoing conflict in Ukraine, and the potential for nuclear threats. Baker begins by discussing the evolving nature of warfare in the 21st century. He emphasizes that while traditional military confrontations still exist, modern conflicts often manifest through cyber warfare, disinformation campaigns, and economic manipulation. This shift means that nations are now engaged in a more subtle form of warfare, where the battlefield is not just on land or sea, but also in the digital realm. The implications of this are profound, as countries like China and Russia leverage technology to undermine their adversaries without firing a single shot. Baker points out that this new form of warfare is particularly concerning for the West, as it often goes unnoticed until significant damage has been done. The ability to manipulate public opinion through social media and other platforms allows adversaries to create division and chaos within a nation, making it easier to achieve their strategic goals. This reality necessitates a reevaluation of how nations prepare for and respond to threats, as the lines between peace and war become increasingly blurred. One of the central themes of the discussion is China's long-term strategy and its implications for global stability. Baker explains that China has been clear about its intentions to expand its influence and power on the world stage. The Chinese government views the reunification of Taiwan as a critical component of its national identity and has made it clear that it will not shy away from using force if necessary. This ambition poses a direct challenge to the West, particularly the United States, which has historically supported Taiwan's autonomy. Baker warns that the West is not paying enough attention to China's preparations for potential military action against Taiwan. He highlights that the Chinese military has been modernizing rapidly, and their recent military exercises around Taiwan serve as a clear signal of their intentions. The potential for conflict in this region is not just a local issue. It has global ramifications, as it could draw in allies and escalate tensions between major powers. The conversation shifts to the ongoing conflict in Ukraine, where Baker provides a detailed analysis of the situation. He notes that the war has become a protracted struggle, with both sides suffering significant casualties. The Ukrainian military has shown remarkable resilience, but Baker emphasizes that the situation is dire, especially as winter approaches. The destruction of Ukraine's energy infrastructure by Russian forces has created a humanitarian crisis that could worsen in the coming months. Baker also discusses the geopolitical implications of the Ukraine conflict, particularly regarding NATO's response. He argues that the support provided by NATO and the U.S. has been crucial for Ukraine's ability to resist Russian advances. However, he cautions that if the West were to withdraw support, it could embolden Russia and lead to further aggression. The stakes are high, and the outcome of this conflict could reshape the balance of power in Europe for years to come. A significant portion of the podcast is dedicated to the topic of nuclear weapons and the increasing normalization of their potential use. Baker expresses concern that the rhetoric surrounding nuclear capabilities has shifted, with leaders like Putin openly discussing their willingness to use tactical nuclear weapons. This shift in attitude is alarming, as it lowers the threshold for nuclear engagement and could lead to catastrophic consequences. Baker explains that the U.S. must remain vigilant in monitoring these developments and be prepared to respond to any threats. He emphasizes the importance of maintaining a credible deterrent and ensuring that adversaries understand the consequences of their actions. The potential for miscalculation in a high-stakes environment is significant, and the world must tread carefully to avoid a nuclear catastrophe. Disinformation is another critical topic that Baker addresses, particularly in the context of modern warfare. He explains that both state and non-state actors are increasingly using disinformation campaigns to manipulate public perception and sow discord. This tactic is particularly effective in democratic societies, where information can spread rapidly through social media platforms. Baker highlights the need for individuals to be discerning consumers of information. He encourages listeners to question the sources of their news and to seek out multiple perspectives before forming opinions. In an age where misinformation can have real-world consequences, being informed and critical is more important than ever. Throughout the discussion, Baker emphasizes the vital role of intelligence in national security. He explains that intelligence agencies like the CIA are tasked with gathering information to inform decision-making at the highest levels of government. Without accurate intelligence, leaders cannot make informed choices about how to respond to threats or engage in diplomacy. Baker's experience in the CIA has taught him that intelligence is not just about collecting data. It's about understanding the motivations and intentions of adversaries. This understanding is crucial for developing effective strategies to counter threats and protect national interests. He argues that the U.S. must continue to invest in its intelligence capabilities to stay ahead of emerging challenges. The conversation also touches on the impact of technology on warfare and intelligence. Baker notes that advancements in technology have transformed the way conflicts are fought and how intelligence is gathered. Cyber capabilities, artificial intelligence, and surveillance technologies are reshaping the landscape of national security. Baker warns that while technology offers new tools for defense, it also presents vulnerabilities that adversaries can exploit. The reliance on technology means that nations must be proactive in securing their systems and protecting sensitive information. As technology continues to evolve, so too must the strategies for using it effectively in the realm of national security. Baker provides insights into the future of U.S.-China relations, emphasizing that the current trajectory is concerning. He argues that the West must recognize the seriousness of China's ambitions and take proactive steps to counter them. This includes strengthening alliances with other nations in the region and ensuring that the U.S. maintains a credible military presence. Baker also discusses the importance of economic competition in shaping U.S.-China relations. He notes that economic interdependence can be both a strength and a vulnerability. While trade can foster cooperation, it can also create dependencies that adversaries can exploit. The U.S. must navigate this complex landscape carefully to protect its interests. The importance of alliances is a recurring theme in Baker's discussion. He emphasizes that the U.S. cannot face the challenges posed by China and Russia alone. Strengthening alliances with NATO and other partners is crucial for maintaining a united front against aggression. Baker believes that a strong coalition of like-minded nations can deter adversaries and promote stability in the international system. Baker also highlights the need for effective communication and coordination among allies. In a rapidly changing geopolitical landscape, it is essential for nations to share information and collaborate on strategies. This collective approach can enhance deterrence and ensure that adversaries understand the consequences of their actions. Baker reflects on the human element of intelligence work, emphasizing that successful operations often rely on building relationships and understanding people. He shares anecdotes from his time in the CIA, illustrating the importance of empathy and communication in gathering information. The ability to connect with individuals and gain their trust is a critical skill for intelligence officers. Baker argues that this human element is often overlooked in discussions about intelligence and national security. While technology plays a significant role, the ability to understand motivations and emotions remains essential. This insight can inform decision-making and lead to more effective strategies for addressing complex challenges. A key takeaway from Baker's discussion is the danger of complacency in the face of emerging threats. He warns that the West must remain vigilant and proactive in addressing challenges posed by adversaries. Complacency can lead to missed opportunities and increased risks, as nations may underestimate the ambitions of their rivals. Baker encourages listeners to stay informed and engaged in discussions about national security. He believes that an informed public is essential for holding leaders accountable and ensuring that the government takes appropriate action to protect national interests. By fostering a culture of awareness and vigilance, societies can better prepare for the challenges ahead. As the podcast wraps up, Baker reflects on the future of global security. He acknowledges that the landscape is changing rapidly, with new threats emerging and old ones evolving. The challenges posed by China, Russia, and other adversaries require a comprehensive approach that encompasses military, economic, and diplomatic strategies. Baker believes that the key to navigating this complex landscape lies in collaboration and adaptability. Nations must work together to address shared challenges and be willing to adjust their strategies as circumstances change. The future of global security will depend on the ability to respond effectively to emerging threats while maintaining a commitment to democratic values and human rights.